From a fellow redhead, for starters, can I just say how much I appreciate that you guys made an entire comedy series and you didn't make one single joke about gingers not having a soul or anything like that. I appreciated that a lot. It meant a lot to me that you guys punched up and not down.
Wow.
You are welcome. I don't know how to respond to that apart from to say you are welcome. I mean, look, we come from Ireland, so, and I don't really, I'm pretty much.
You don't think I qualify?
I think you have a red beard, a little bit red in your beard, but Chris,
it's not quite as red as you guys, but when sun comes down on it, it gets pretty bright.
I'd like to see a photo, but yeah, no, okay. We'll trust you. We'll trust you.
I'm a bit of a day walker, half and half. I think is the term that I've been called before.
Jesus, sounds like it's been a rough life. But yes, no, we didn't want to make fun of anybody based on anything apart from
gingers,
especially.
Thank you. It meant a lot to me. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I was like, these guys breaking down boundaries here. I appreciate that. So I just when I signed on to do this interview, I actually didn't realize that your name's not Brian and that it's Brienne and that your name's Domhnall. I knew your names, but I've never actually had to say it out loud before. And so I was kind of
they're sneaky that way.
Curious. Like, what's the worst pronunciation that you guys have ever heard for your names?
Well, some people do get stuck on Brienne as opposed to Brian, right? Like, so it does sound like a lady's name when people say Brienne sometimes, right?
Yeah. Some people say Brie.
That's the most Larry David face you've ever made.
Cheese.
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't even think of the cheese. No, but Brie is also a girl's name.
My son's name is Colby, so I totally understand the.
You're going to say cheese. Brie, and thought it was going to get awkward for a second, so that's good. Colby's a nice name. Yeah, I mean, the worst one I ever had was I gave my name in a Starbucks, and I said Domhnall, and then I was standing waiting for my coffee, and there's no one else there, and there was just one person behind the desk shouting, "Tonio, Tonio, Tonio." And I was like, I didn't even look, even though I was the only person there. I was like, that can't be me. But yes, so Tonio is probably the worst I've done.
I got to tell you guys, I just watched Frank of Ireland last night. I went through the whole thing, and I loved it. There's a lot of genuinely sweet moments in the show, and I don't know, but Frank can be a real asshole sometimes. So I was kind of curious about what is it about truly selfish people that you guys think it makes them ripe for comedy? Because some of my favorite people in other shows, I mean, you think about, Michael Scott in The Office, they're just selfish people. And I feel like Frank had a lot of that going for him while Doofus is a really sweet guy. What is it about selfish people that makes them ripe for that?
I think it's their failure. I think it's their failure. If Frank got what he wanted, I think he'd just be an asshole and you'd hate him. But it's seeing the discrepancy between his expectations and reality. I suppose something like that. I don't know really though.
And I think there's also an element of pride coming before the fall, being funnier than just the fall. I think if somebody is saying, look at me, I'm amazing, and then they trip into the swimming pool, that's funnier than somebody just tripping in the swimming pool. You know what I mean? Like, it's seeing the person kind of get their comeuppance in a little way, I think is self-regard is you like to see those people kind of get a little bit what for. Right. And I thought he was great at doing it as Frank.
Absolutely. No, there was a few good spots in the show for that. Were there any inappropriate moments in the show that were secretly autobiographical? Because I know you guys wrote the show.
Unless there were autobiographical moments that Michael, our co-writer, didn't tell us about that are his life, unless he once pooed in a bag and then tried to, you know what I mean? Like unless all this stuff came, you know what I mean? And he just kind of snuck it in there. No, I don't think so. I think that basically everything was made up. It was always a matter of all three of us. With the poo in the bag, it's just three people in a room wondering what's the funniest thing to happen next. And I think hopefully it's all invention and none of it's based on, right, Brian? Did you poo in a bag?
No. But I know someone who did. I don't know what I'm talking about. No. There's no incidents that were inspired by real life. We have to say that. We must say that.
Okay.
If we're to have any career going forward. It's such an outrageous kind of show, but I definitely think there's something about, we always imagine Frank to be 12 or 13 and Doofus is 9, and it's that idea of not growing up and, a man, this kind of child, but in a man's world, trying to make do and trying to survive. Myself and Donald are brothers, and Donald's childhood friends with Michael. So a lot of our shared references were from childhood. So I think that's kind of where the idea of Frank and Doofus came out of, somewhere there.
Okay. I like that there was a ton of movie references in the show. I mean, you guys referenced like Taxi Driver and Misery, Kevin Costner, Home Alone, Memento, all that stuff. Speaking of which, I can't tell you how many times I've been kicked out of a taxi doing that quote from Taxi Driver. So the
second quote, the Harvey Keitel. No.
No, but obviously, so you guys are big movie fans. Were those ways for you to work in your favorite movies into the show?
No, I think Taxi Driver is overrated. No, that's totally not true. I absolutely love Taxi Driver. That's a joke, and I hope this isn't print, otherwise it will come across as serious. No,
it's not print. We're going to get to see it.
Thank God. Yeah. I hope it still didn't come across. Anyway, I think the Taxi Driver thing started as a joke, right, Brian? And then as it went along, we realized that actually Frank imagines himself in a kind of a mythic sort of way. He imagines himself identifying with these myths of cinema in some sort of a way, not realizing that his life is not mythic at all. And so the references actually came out of the story, as opposed to saying, let's do a Home Alone episode, let's do a Memento episode. Kind of a lot of them came out of the story, and the story telling us what it was like. And then because we all know a lot of the same movies and we love movies, it was a fun thing to add on top, Yeah, I don't think it went further than that, right, Brian?
No. I think at one point there was only 1 or 2 episodes with movies we had. He was inspired by history podcasts or whatever. Like there was loads of different things, and I think it's exactly what Don was saying. Is that that's how he interprets the world, and he views himself as the hero of his own story. So it made sense for each episode to kind of reflect that in some way in the movie sense. Yeah.
Are there any plans, not to spoil anything, but are there any plans for you guys to do a second season, or do you feel like the finale sort of brought everything full circle and it sort of told this story about a family who can't break out of their own cycle, like is in that case, then you don't need to do anymore?
I think that's a good point. I think it is in a nice little package, and so if we are going to think about going back into it, we really have to be sure about what story we want to tell. So there would be a lot to think about before that would happen. But I certainly loved working with the lads. So we're still texting each other funny things about the show and all the various characters. So I suppose we'll just wait and see.
And as well, with something like Fleabag, the first season of Fleabag I think felt totally like its own thing, and it could have been done after that. And then Phoebe lived for a while, and whatever happened, this idea came to her, and I even preferred the second season to the first. Maybe I thought it was even more powerful somehow. So yeah, I think if the right idea comes, then you would go for it. And if it doesn't, then I do think that we also have a nice story there, like that's told.
Right. So if you guys do end up making a second season, have you already had any thoughts about what movies you might want to reference or bring up or kind of adapt to your own version of a story?
Well, yeah, or we would just start basing every episode on a podcast. You know what I mean? Like maybe that would be the thing, or a different TV show or a song or something like that. I guess you could go any number of ways with it. But no, every now and again, you think about a movie, and again, it just ends up on the WhatsApp group. But nothing in particular, I don't think, Brian, right?
I think the weird thing is that it's gone the other way now, where I'll be doing mundane activities in life and going, it'd be funny if Frank was this. So in a way, chapters of my life are being dictated by this one show. But I think it's exactly that thing. Even going to the dentist or something, it'd be funny imagining Frank having a bad dentist trip or something. But I think we need to collect a few more of those before thinking about putting it to paper.
Well, you got the Memento thing already down, so maybe you can just adapt like Christopher Nolan stuff for the second one. Just in reverse or something.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah.
Domhnall, I was going to ask you, you've played some incredibly smart characters. Like Ex Machina is one of my favorite films. Like I love that. But do you find it more challenging to present yourself on screen as like a genius kind of character, or as somebody like Doofus, who's clearly kind of, dumbed down?
Well, I think Doofus is probably actually smart in some ways, but his enthusiasm overrides any intelligence based on the situation, So he could know it's a bad idea, to jump into that fire. But if Frank is like, it would be really funny if you jumped into the fire, he gets excited and he does it. I think it's probably easier to play that than it is to play somebody smart, because if you say something smart in a movie that you need to try and understand it first. And that, for me, that's just a lot of research. With Doofus, you just access your 9-year-old child and do it that way. When I say that, I mean the 9-year-old child that's inside all of us. Not, I don't have some guy at the end of the line waiting for a phone call.
Yeah. When I want to present myself smart, I just find that it's just don't talk. Like, that's all I do is just try not to speak.
Get yourself a pipe and nod.
Yeah, exactly. Pair of glasses, like a shop at LensCrafters. Just throw them on there, and like Bree, look how smart he looks.
I don't even need these. It's helped these interviews. Let me tell you that.
Since I'm with Comicbook.com, I got to ask a couple nerdy questions, if you don't mind. Now that Disney Plus has like a dozen Star Wars shows in development, when are we going to see General Hux again? And when are you going to bring Bree over to the Star Wars universe with you?
I'm not. Is it as simple as that? Can I just turn up with Bree and
I don't have any of those connections.
We're good to go. We're both
I want
here.
to bring Bree into this. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a couple people have asked about, like, because there is so much stuff happening in the Star Wars universe and stuff about that, but it's not. It's always about if the story's good. I'm up for anything if the story's good, So yeah, bring it on if so, and if not, then I think I did plenty. 3 movies is a lot.
Before I go, one more thing. I just got to tell. It's not really even a question. Domhnall, my girlfriend's gonna be really mad if I don't tell you this, but her favorite movie is About Time, and she's begged me to watch.
My girlfriend. As soon as you said my girlfriend, I was like, he's gonna ask About Time, and I wonder now if you actually do have a girlfriend, or if your favorite movie is About Time and you were just embarrassed to say.
Well, let me get to the end. She begged me for like over a year to watch this movie. I was like, I don't know if it's my kind of movie. I finally watched it, and it legit made me cry one manly tear. I love that movie, and now it might be one of my favorites. So I just wanted to tell you that and let you know how much I appreciate you getting me in touch with my softer side.
Oh, well, that's very sweet. It's a funny one. It creeps up on a lot of guys, it turns out. Like they're not expecting much because it's not their kind of genre, and then they end up getting something from it. So I'm really happy. That's actually very nice of you to say. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And guys, I love the show. I can't wait to watch it again. I was just telling somebody that like the whole ending brought it like full circle for me, where now I want to rewatch it and check it out again. So you guys did an awesome job. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.